Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a quick one because I got to get out here and go get my girlfriend her gift or gifts. So not a quick one, but this is going to be another review. It's about an hour long, but I'm going to be fast forwarding through the parts that are irrelevant to this review. So if they're talking about, promoting their whatever, or just regular chit chat, I'm gonna fast forward through all that. All right, let me give a few minutes for everybody to jump in here. Get to know narcolepsy. I'm a person. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Like I said, give everybody a chance to jump on in here for this last holiday weekend to finally go out there and get some gifts for people. I'm not a really big Christmas person, but this day is very important to my woman, so it has to be important to me if I want to have a girlfriend. All right, you guys, get on in here for the next review. Come on in here before I get started. Close that all the way. Come on in here. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them see outside what I call the debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt. Whew, yeah. And believe there's no way out. And how I get people to get out of the debt matrix is by exposing glitches, what I call glitches in the debt matrix. And glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make financial sense, but yet people keep doing them. Good morning, best version. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. Okay, the LJ, the first 30 minutes, best version says the LJ, the first 30 minutes is about cars. Okay, all right. Good morning, Quentin. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful, nice, cool day in Charleston. Down here in Myrtle Beach, it's cloudy. I don't know if it's cloudy where you're at, but it is a nice day. It's going to be a wonderful day to go shopping. All right, I got to deal with these crowds. I hate dealing with crowds, but I got to do it. I'm a last minute person. All right, whatever. All right, you guys, come on in here. Let's get this started. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Set up your free 30-minute consultation right there. Just click on book consultation. Go to my website and click on book consultation. Don't forget to put in your time zone, because I've been having some mix-ups there with some times, and it's like, oh, that's right, you're not in the East Coast time zone. I am. You're in PST or EST or Central Time, whatever, right? So, all right. Let me get this video set up here. Okay, it's there. All right. Give you guys a few more minutes to get on in here. Like I said, this video is about an hour long, but I am going to be fast forwarding through the parts that are really not relevant to the discussion. So it won't be a full hour. Plus, like I said, I got to get out of here. So, all right, let me get this share screen set up here. All right, cancel. Move that. All right, that. Share screen. All right, this is Earn. Now, this video is by Earn Your Leisure. Okay, and this is Best Version Motivation sent this to me. Let me get this all the way out here. 1 second here. I'll keep this like this just for now. All right, so we are going to get started here. All right. Let me get this up here. All right, you guys ready? All right, here we go.
UIL, we back. One
more. Your Leisure podcast. So before we start, it was a couple of days left to RSVP to our networking event in Houston.
Yeah, we're on the way.
On August 22nd. August 22nd. So by the time you guys hear this, you'll have 2 days, a day and a half to RSVP.
Now, if you guys are new to my channel, before I get started, I want you guys to understand that I am not here to talk bad about these guys, say they're stupid or they're doing something illegal. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not bad mouthing them or anything like that. No, the only thing I'm going to do is point out things, if there are any, because I haven't watched this video. If there are any things that don't make mathematical sense, all right, I'm gonna point them out. That's it, and it's just math. So if you're a fan of these guys, again, I'm not talking negative about them at all. Concentrate on the math. That's the only thing I'm concentrating on. So here we go.
So go to the link in our Instagram page, our bio, our website, onyourleisure.com, under the events tab.
Yeah.
And it's right there. It's free. It's a networking event. And
it's been already a great response. People have been real happy. And don't miss it.
It's going to be Jesus show. We did an episode.
Yeah.
So it's practical. The car industry.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about how to make a living in
that had a car. They must know about cars.
Like when you buy your first car, you bring somebody with you. They may know what to do. They may not know what to do. You may get ripped off. You don't really know. It's like
you walking in blindfolded.
It's like everything else that we cover on the podcast. Right? There's no blueprint for it, right? So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to give you some blueprint. We're going to give you some information about the car industry and sales in general too, because
all right, I'm gonna fast forward to some things. Okay.
Talking about sales.
This year actually be 20 years in the car industry, from the bank to the dealership side. So.
Yeah, you worked every facet,
basically. Yeah.
Every facet. So, all right. So we're gonna get into your backstory, but before we get into the backstory, I want to just jump right into it because people take this like very personal. Yeah. I know this. It's like a real personal thing. Like it's like we got like 1,000 comments over a video that we posted, and people were like, "No, that's a terrible idea. You should never lease a car." And people were like, "No, you should never buy a car." People arguing with each other. They're about to start fighting on Instagram. So it's like I realize it's one of those things that's very emotional for people,
right?
And nobody wants to feel like they made a mistake.
Yeah.
So if you bought a car, it's like you don't want to admit that might be a bad. You leased a car, you might sedan, four-door. So I had a G35, and it was nice. And I had that car for about 5 years. I had a terrible interest rate because I didn't have any credit.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. So in year 5. Started to like fall apart, right? Tires, I had to start buying tires and like transmission. So then my last 2 cars, I leased. I leased a BMW. Now I'm leasing a Benz, and I don't know what I'll do next. But I'll probably end up leasing.
Our stories are similar. Like around that same time, per day, like that's you bring your kid home, and we like went into oncoming traffic, and I was like, this is it. I'm done. I'm never.
Every 3 years. Now, I always tell, like, if you want to, everybody's personal preference is different. You can't force your views on somebody, right? Like, if you want to keep a car for 10 years, that's your right. You can do that. I don't want to do that. I want to get a new car. Yeah. So I know it's going to cost me a lot more money to buy a car and then buy a new car every 3 years, as opposed to leasing a car and then getting a new car every 3 years. And the upfront is less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, first of all right, I know we're skipping through this because they're just talking, right? But first of all, don't ever lease or finance a car ever. Don't ever do that. People buying versus leasing a car, let me tell you, outside the debt matrix, what that means is it doesn't mean anything. The bank owns them both. How you feel about buying versus leasing, those are feelings. Feelings don't matter when it comes to your money. Never interject your feelings. Now, if he's talking about leasing a car under his business name, that is different. I'm gonna point out if he's flip-flopping between personal and finances, or if he's making a distinct difference between the two. How he feels about if he believes he's saving money on the lease, that's just how he feels about it. That's irrelevant. That means absolutely nothing. Okay.
On a lease, you only pay, let's say the taxes, right? When you're financing a vehicle, you pay tax on the whole price of the car. Or on a lease, you only pay tax on, let's say, the monthly payment. Depending on the state and where you're registering the car, let's say like New York, you're only paying tax on the monthly payment.
Right. So I think that that's something that people could, and as far as for me, I don't drive a lot. So 12,000 miles, I never go over 12,000 miles. I usually hit like 11.
Yeah, leases have high restrictions too. Never forget that. Leases are more like for people that believe they're going to get, that's why they always get you in with that low monthly rate, because of that's just to get you in. And you will have so many restrictions, how many miles, dings when you turn that car in. And if you've got all these negatives against you, according to the lease you signed, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
10.5. So it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
But you were saying even if you do go over 12,000,
well, that's a big misconception also. Is a lot of people think that if I drive a lot of mileage, I shouldn't be leasing. You hear a lot of people come in and they say, I do 15, 20,000 miles a year. I shouldn't, leasing's not for me. I think the contrary. It's the way I look at it is when you're leasing a vehicle, even if it's a high mileage lease, your true cost of ownership, like you said, with maintenance, right? You know that you're going to have this car 3 years. You're going to put 15,000 miles a year. You'll have 45,000 miles. Most warranties are, let's say, 4-year, 50,000 mile bumper to bumper.
Look how I want you guys to see how complex that is. Look at all the stuff involved in financing or leasing a car. Look at all that complexity. It's ridiculous. Buy your car from people who are in debt. Never finance a car, never lease a car. Now, the only exception is if you leased a car under a business name. Okay, so you can write off the taxes. Don't get me wrong, but we're not talking about business. We're talking about personal finances. And the way this guy is speaking, he's talking about personal. Okay, never do that stuff ever. Only people in debt finance cars. Only people in debt lease cars. Never ever forget that.
Warranty, so you're still covered under your warranty. You see what I mean? So you'll be able to look at it and say, hey, you know what? I know exactly what I'm going to be paying.
When you're out of debt and your car breaks down, or you need some tires, or you need something fixed, when you're out of debt, you have money. So if it ever breaks down, you need to fix it. You have the money to fix it because you don't have monthly payments. You always got to make sure you look at money collectively and no longer individually. So remember, if the average car payment is $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year you will have that you don't pay. The average is made up of millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one. If you don't have a car payment, you're making $6,000 more per year than the average. So if something happens to your car, you have $6,000 to fix it
every month for this car, as long as I have my lease. Now, when you're financing a car and you're putting high mileage on the car, the two things that lower the value of the car quickest is the amount of mileage you put on it and the condition of the car. So let's say if the vehicle was in an accident. So if I'm leasing my car and someone that my next door neighbor is buying their vehicle and they're financing their car, in 3 years, I have a lot more flexibility of what I can do. I don't have to worry about if my car was in an accident or, did somebody key my car? Did a garbage truck come down the street and hit my car? Because their value has dropped now. So now you're playing this guessing game.
I want you guys to listen to all the made up scenarios that could possibly happen to your car. Come on, man. Those are scary things. Don't fall. The people in debt fall for that kind of stuff. Okay. Don't believe in the garbage truck come and hit you. When's the last time a garbage truck hit your car? Probably never. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Okay. This buying versus leasing thing, that's the same when people say things like rent versus mortgage. All right. I guarantee you, the way he's talking, the first question I'm going to ask this guy right here is to see his personal credit report. I can tell by the way he's speaking. I don't know if he's selling or he really believes what he's saying. But if he really believes in what he's saying, I want to see his personal credit report.
Game of, well, wait a minute, what is my car now worth? And you run into a situation where you finally pay off your car. You put money into the vehicle trying to fix it, and they turn around and say, hey, your car's worth $6,000. Now, the other thing that we talked about was that
Who's they? My car is worth what I say it's worth. It's not determined by any outside entity.
Technology is moving so fast. So things get antiquated quick. So that's why leasing is nice, because in 3 years, you may not need a small sedan, right? Now in 3 years, your life changes. You have a family, you have kids. Now I want to ask you.
Are you guys listening? Are you guys listening to all the made up scenarios, all the what ifs? all the possible things that could possibly happen. Those are fear tactics to keep you believing this. Oh man, I need a new car every 3 years. No, you don't. No, that's not true. No, you don't. When you have no debt, you have cash. If anything goes wrong with your car, you fix it. You have the money to fix it.
SUV. My lease is up. I come out of the lease. I go into the brand new SUV if I want to.
Can't fit in that Honda Accord anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's true. Technology changes. Even like the vehicle I have now, like I saw the 2020 model. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
that is ridiculous. Like I need that technology now.
Okay.
So it's like you can just come in every 3 years, man. That's a huge benefit in leasing. One of the things
Huge.
that is important when you're leasing or financing is the credit.
Yep.
Oh,
How does that work? Is there a specific bureau that car dealerships use, or the bank? How does it go?
So it varies between manufacturers. So different banks. So let's say if you're going to Honda Financial, Toyota has Toyota Motor Credit, Mercedes-Benz has Mercedes-Benz Financial. They all have different criteria, right? So it's not a blanket as far as what they use. Some people use TransUnion, some people use Equifax.
are you guys listen to all the hurdles? Listen to all the avenues that you got to think about when you go finance a car. Who wants to do that? I don't want to do any of that. No. Oh, do they go through this? Do they go through Vantage? Do they use FICO score? I'm telling you guys, they do people so bad who finance cars. They do people so bad that you got people that go finance cars. They will sit at a car lot, buying or leasing. They will sit at a car lot all day. Would you believe me if I told you they only do that to people who finance cars? They only do that to people who are in debt. Okay, you have to worry about all this stuff.
Other manufacturers use what's called an auto score. So an auto score means your automotive history.
Oh,
so even if you had some trouble on your credit, but they saw, let's say for whatever reason you had some medical bills or something happened, but you always paid your car note on time, the bank may look at that and say, hey, well, wait a minute. Yeah, they missed some payments over here, but they always paid their car on time. So that means that, hey, you know what? This person needs that car. They need to get to work.
Hey, you guys, I want you to pay close attention to what he's doing. He's mixing in feelings. Okay. Oh, that person needs that car. I guarantee you the bank doesn't think like that. That's a feeling. The bank doesn't care if the person needs the car. That is not true. He's interjecting his feelings to grab you into what he's saying. That is not true. Leave your feelings out of your money. You be just like the bank. Never mix your feelings ever.
To provide for their family. So no matter what happens, they're going to take care of that.
To provide for his family.
Another thing I want people to think too, a lot of times people look at it like, okay, well, I'm not a business owner. And we're talking about luxury cars just because we have luxury cars, but it's the conversations for any type of car. It doesn't matter.
100%.
But also people have to realize is that you don't have to be a full-time entrepreneur to be an entrepreneur. Because the tax system, I can't stress this enough, the tax system is set up for entrepreneurs and investors. It's not set up for employees.
That's true.
So,
right, what he said right there is very true. It's very true, okay? Once you get out of debt first, and then you'll understand some of these things. But what he's saying right there is very true.
As an entrepreneur, you get all kinds of benefits. You can write off meals. You can write off travel. You can write off almost anything, realistically. As long as it makes sense, don't get audited. And cars is one of the things that you can write off, right?
Sure,
so if you're working a regular job and you might have a side hustle, why not get that incorporated, get an LLC, get a C Corp, whatever you want to do, and get a tax ID, open a bank account. Now you have a business.
Yep.
So now you can lease that from your side hustle business and you can deduct the same deductions like if you worked a regular job, right? Like now that goes against any money that.
Now I want you guys to pay attention. He is distinctly separating personal finances from business finances, okay? He is talking business right now. That is exactly right. You lease a car under the business. That's cool because you get to write it off, whatever, okay?
That you make on that end. So I say that to say we have to think like business people, and you don't even have to actually be a full-time business owner. Salespeople as well.
Yep.
Right. If you're a 1099 or if you are in some form of sales where you can take deductions like real estate, stuff like that, insurance, you sell insurance.
Again, but if you're in debt personally, don't worry about that. Don't worry about going into the business side, because what's going to happen is this. If you go into business while you're in debt, you're going to carry those same habits over to your business finances. How do I know this? Because you don't know anything else. This is the way you believe. The majority of people who are in debt or start a business, they're gonna say like they start a business and they're successful in their business. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna see that they're making more money, and then they're just gonna believe they can afford bigger payments. They're still in the debt matrix.
The same thing. So a lot of times people, they have negative views towards things because they have a lack of understanding. Once you have a lack of understanding, and like I said, now if you still choose to do that, then it's your decision. It's a free country. 100%. But a lot of times we make decisions based out of ignorance, not knowledge, right?
Misinformed,
exactly. So one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you said MSRP versus price, right? What's the difference?
What's the selling price?
All right. So you have MSRP, right? Yeah. That's what's on the window sticker, right? So the manufacturer suggests the retail price of the vehicle. Right?
How many people you think that walk on a car lot that's about to finance the car know what MSRP means, or what's it for? How many people you think that? The majority of people who finance cars barely even know what their interest rate is on their car, let alone the MSRP. That's just fancy talk, you guys. Get out of that world. That means absolutely nothing. Get out of that finance world. Unless you're a car dealership and understand that you're making money from this MSRP or this made up number or whatever, it means nothing to you, especially if you're financing cars. If you're going to a car lot and you're staying there all day to buy one car, they got you.
That's MSRP. Manufacturers suggest the retail price. That's what they recommend you should be selling that car for.
So
now the selling price is what you negotiate, right? Or whatever, however you can.
I don't care what the manufacturer's selling price. Who cares? I don't care what they believe the car is worth. I say it's the price I want to pay, period. What's up, Fresh Prince CEO Art? Good morning.
You can reduce the selling price of the vehicle. That's what that comes down to.
So is that the same thing as a cap cost?
So no, cap cost.
Oh God!
Leasing, or you're financing.
Look, all these fancy terms they're throwing in there, you guys. How many of you guys even know what they're talking about? Probably the majority have no clue of what they're talking about. Neither do I. I don't even care. I don't even care what they're talking about. But this is for you. This is for you guys. Once you get out of this world, you'll see none of this means anything.
The final cap cost is the selling price plus anything else.
And again, I'm not saying these guys don't know what they're talking about. I'm only speaking mathematically. What they're saying mathematically does not make sense. Okay? It doesn't add up.
So whatever money the bank is lending you, whether it's a lease or finance, they're still lending a certain amount of money. So let's say on a lease, if you rolled your taxes into your payment, that's going to add to your cap cost. If you negotiated a $50,000 selling price and then you rolled your taxes of $2,000 into the lease, that's $52,000 cap.
He just said to you, this is what he just said. If you roll your taxes into your lease, guess what you just did? You financed your taxes. Not only are you paying taxes, everybody has to pay taxes, but finance them too? Oh my goodness.
Cap cost.
Okay, and is that negotiable?
Well, it's based on what you negotiate as far as, let's say, your selling price.
Okay.
So whatever fees you put into it, those aren't negotiable. Those are, let's say, taxes and DMV fees, things like that.
So, all right, we talked about leasing a car, but buying a car. Somebody wants to buy a car, right? Mm-hmm. And you were saying most of the time, if you do want to buy a car, it makes more sense to buy a used car.
I always recommend people, if you are going to buy a car, buy a certified pre-owned. Now, listen, there's vehicles you can find at these lots that are not authorized, let's say Mercedes-Benz dealerships or Toyota dealerships. Me personally, I think you're better off you may pay a couple of dollars more, but you're getting it from the manufacturer. So you have the backing with manufacturers. So just give you an idea. Most companies, when they certify a vehicle, the vehicle goes through, let's say, 150 point, 160 point inspection. Mm-hmm. So not only will they inspect the vehicle to make sure that it's in certain conditions, so they'll eliminate things like, let's say there's frame damage to the car. If the car is frame damage, it doesn't qualify for certification. So it's eliminated. Most dealerships won't even take that car. They'll send that car out, and that's where you'll see the vehicles on these other side lots, right? And they're selling those vehicles. So there's really no recourse when it comes to something happening to the car. Not to mention the fact that once that car goes through the certification, a lot of manufacturers will put new car interest rates on those cars. So typically, pre-owned cars or used cars will have a higher interest rate than a new car, But if it's certified, you get a better interest rate. So like right now, like let's say you have 1.99%, you can't get 1.99% on a used car, anywhere else. You know what I mean? If the vehicle's certified, that's the way to do it. Me personally, the vehicles, as you guys have all heard this, people say, oh, well, the vehicle loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot.
Hey, you guys. Now, I know a lot of people hear that. Oh, the car loses value before it drives off the lot. That's not true. That's not true. The car loses value before you even got the keys in your hand. Okay, and I'll give you a couple examples so you can understand. Okay, when you fill out a credit application, right? They go by your gross income. Gross income means the money before taxes are taken out. Why are they going by money that you're not even going to see? They're basing your payment. They're basing your monthly payment on money that you're never going to get. You're already upside down and you don't even have the keys in your hand. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody.
Now, what happens is really, it's once it's registered, the vehicle loses value. That's when
when the
vehicle loses value. And that's normally when you drive it off.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. When it's registered, that's not true. Okay. Soon as you step on a car lot to crack your lips to say financing a car, because you got to remember, you got to just be honest with yourself. The reason why you're financing a car because you have no money. That's why. That's the very reason why the majority of people are financing cars. They don't have the money to buy the car, or else they would. Who would walk on a lot and agree to pay double tax on a depreciating object? The tax that you can see, the price of the car plus tax. And then when you're financing it, since you don't have the money for the car, you definitely ain't gonna have the money for the taxes. So you're financing the taxes too. Now, even when they run your credit report, half the people are so anxious to get this car, they just want to hear the word approved. They don't care about the interest rate. They don't even care which of the 3 credit scores they're going to use. Hey, can you walk on the car lot and be like, hey, what if you checked your TransUnion credit score before you went to the car lot, right? And you knew your TransUnion was the highest. Can you walk on the car lot and say, hey, man, when you guys run my credit, can you make sure you use my TransUnion score? Probably never even thought of that. How do you know if they're not using the lowest credit score so they can charge you the highest interest rate? Probably don't even care. You're just looking for the word approved. That's it.
That's when you got it brand new.
So yeah, when you're buying the car brand new, it initially loses its value when you drive it off the lot or the vehicle is titled. Okay. So now you're buying a vehicle that's gonna depreciate in value. That's what a car does.
All vehicles depreciate in value. Every single one of them. Okay. Every single one.
Go down in value. So you're financing a car that's losing value. It already took a big hit, right? When you're buying it new, opposed to a certified pre-owned, that the initial depreciation has already happened. It's already taken place. But you know that car was taken care of. The manufacturer, the dealership, is putting themselves behind that vehicle, saying, "Hey, we know this vehicle. We've inspected this vehicle. We know this vehicle's in good shape. We're willing to even put a new car rate on it, so you have some more confidence behind that type of."
Okay. All right. There was another thing that we saw when we were reading. It was gap insurance. Now, that's something that doesn't come on a finance, but it does come on a lease.
Yeah, New York State leases all have gap insurance. Now, what happens, people don't realize that if a vehicle is let's say, totaled or stolen, any negative equity.
Okay, listen closely, okay? Okay, there's got to be some rules in there, okay? But anyway, gap insurance is only offered to people who are upside down in their car. Upside down. They wouldn't, if I went to New York or wherever he's talking about, first of all, I would never finance a car. So I would never lease a car or whatever, right? But anyway, if I went to go buy a car wherever he's saying he's at, and the state said, oh yeah, you're going to pay for gap insurance, I'll say, well, I'm never going to finance a car because I'm not paying gap insurance. Gap insurance is on top of your regular insurance. Gap insurance is for people that don't understand money, how money works, because if you understood how money works by using basic math, you would never in a million years accept gap insurance. You would never do that, ever. If you have gap insurance, you are in financial trouble. That means you are upside down in the car, and if your car got totaled, there was going to be a gap right there. You're going to say like the car is worth $10,000, but you owe $15,000. There's a $5,000 gap. You owe $5,000 more than what the car is actually worth. And if you trade it in while it's upside down, just because the car is worth $10,000, the dealership that's taking it from you, accepting it, you don't even know if they're going to give you actually $10,000 for that car. Maybe they give you $7,000. Okay. Now you have an $8,000 gap between the old car and the new car, and they just roll it into your new loan. Oh my God. They're doing people so dirty. Now, when I say dirty, not these guys, I'm just saying the industry. And when I say dirty, that's just my feeling. Okay. It's business. What they're doing is obviously legal, or else they couldn't do it. So it's legal. All right. But when you're financing cars, financing, leasing cars is one of the worst things anybody could ever do. Ever. Like when you lease a car, they got all these stipulations and rules. Why would you want a car that you can barely drive? You got to be careful. It's a car is a car. It's made to be driven as many miles as you wish. That's the purpose of a car. Now you're going to accept restrictions on it and you're going to pay for it. Mm-mm.
So if your insurance company says, hey, your car was worth $10,000, but you owe the bank 12 or 13 without gap insurance, you're responsible for that negative equity. Okay, so the negative balance, you're responsible for that amount. So that's why all New York State leases will have gap insurance.
All right, so for people,
I would read more detail on that. There's no way, if I'm not upside down, just check this out. If I'm not upside down in my leased car, not that I would ever lease one, upside down in my leased car, you mean the state is going to tell me that I need gap insurance? No, sir. Mm-mm. I would never do that. Pay for something that I don't even need, required by the state. Mm-mm. Not doing any of that. No, sir.
People that go into the dealership and they don't really know like what question. It's a little intimidating because
I guarantee you this: if the state of New York requires that, it's because the majority they've had to put that in place because the majority of people get sucked in by the small payments of a lease, and then they get upside down in that lease. It probably got really, really bad. So they're like, hey, if you lease a car, and again, I'm sure there's detailed restrictions in there. Okay. And if you're not upside down in a car, I can't see them requiring you to have gap insurance. I just can't see that. But anyway, but it's probably so bad because the majority are switching over to leases because of sucking them in with that small payment that they're like, oh, people are just wrecking these cars and not paying for them. They're requiring gap insurance.
You don't really know if you're getting ripped off or not.
You just tell me.
I do.
So like, what questions should they ask? Like, how do you know if they're getting a good deal? How can you get the best deal? Everything's negotiable.
Yeah, everything's negotiable.
So how can you get the best deal?
So here's what it is. I mean, it's the car business has this bad reputation, right? But sometimes we make it harder than it has to be as a consumer. Now, if you know there's a vehicle you want, there's so much information out there. You can go online, you can do research, you can find out what the cost of the vehicle is. But at the end of the day, I always recommend trying to buy local. Try to buy where you're going to be servicing your vehicle. And they want to take care of you. When you have a problem, yes, you can go to any manufacturer, you can go to any dealership and try to get help or have your vehicle serviced. But a lot of times when you buy local, they have more of an interest in taking care of you because you know what? You purchase from them, they're going to take care of you first, right? If you came.
There he goes, interjecting his feelings again. That's how he feels about it. That's not true. Okay. Don't get your feelings involved in a business transaction ever. Don't ever do that. Doesn't matter if it's local. It doesn't. No, you buy what's worth, but that you believe the car is worth in cash, half the price from somebody in credit trouble that believes this kind of stuff. You know, I don't care what the blue book value is on any car that I'm purchasing. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm looking in the paper. I'm going to listen to somebody's story, how they're in trouble. They lost their job. They're breaking up. They're getting divorced. I don't care. I come here. Hey, you selling the car for 10? Yeah, I got 5. Do you want it? Here it is right here, cash. They're going to take it.
To my dealership and you bought the car in Jersey, right? Or another dealership, but another customer came in and he bought his car here. Who would you expect me to take care of, right? Better or first, right?
What?
I have one loaner car left. I'm going to give it to the guy.
I expect you to take care of the person that has the money to pay for your services. That's who I expect you to do. It doesn't matter where they're from. Are they walking in paying for your services? Yeah. You could care less where that car is coming from.
So to me, as far as the price goes, listen, there's a lot of information online. You can look up what the cost of the vehicles are. I do recommend, listen, you want to shop around, but at the end of the day, once you have a bottom line number, go into your local dealership, say, hey, this is what I got. Can you guys match it, get close to it, beat it, whatever it is.
What sites do you recommend? Like Kelley Blue Book? Or
Kelley Blue Book's great. There's a lot of information. If you go to Google, you can search, car gurus. They'll give you all types of information.
What's the residual value?
All right, residual value is what the bank sets what's called the residual value. A residual value is the estimated value of the vehicle at the end of the lease. Okay, so that's what the bank is assuming or hoping that the vehicle is going to be worth once your lease is over. Now that's determined by the mileage, right? How many miles, the less miles you put on a car, the higher your residual.
Look at all that complexity. Look at all that. If you pay cash for your cars, you don't have to worry about any of that. That's the biggest. Can you imagine leasing a car, worrying about how many miles you're driving it, door dings, scratches, following all the rules, the due dates, and the maintenance. Make sure because they have all these requirements in these leases. Man, those leases are like this thick that you sign, right? If you don't, you got to take it into the dealership to get the oil change at a certain amount of times, and if you don't, that could break the lease. It's just too much nonsense.
Residual value is going to be. The good thing about the residual is that you want to have a high residual value. The higher the residual value means that the vehicle is going to depreciate less. So you're paying a smaller monthly payment because your monthly payment is based on the depreciation. Okay, so let's give you mathematics, right?
Okay.
If the car has a selling price of, let's say, $50,000, right? Let's say it's an MSRP of $50,000. Just use round numbers. And the residual value is 50%. So it's $25,000.
Oh, God.
It's going to be estimated to be worth at the end of the.
How many people you think understand anything he's saying right there? Manufacturer, reseller, sales price, whatever. People don't even know their interest rate on their car. You think they're understanding anything this guy is saying? None of that is true. I mean, okay, let me take it back. It's true if you live in that world. Okay, I guess if you live in the finance car world, whatever, you know, Hyphy says, even from a complete newbie perspective, these guys aren't giving me any useful information. Exactly, they're not. Because the number one rule is never finance or lease a car. Don't ever do it. And you won't have to worry about any of this complexity, what they're talking about. Nothing, ever.
Right? So you're going to pay that difference between the $50,000 and the $25,000. That's depreciation. But let's just say you just negotiated your price down to $45,000. So now you're shrinking the depreciation because it's between 45 and 25, opposed to the 45 and 50. Mm-hmm. So you're paying on that depreciation. See what I mean?
Okay.
No, I don't.
And what about the cap reduction?
The what?
The cap cost reduction. That's the money down. Or that's what your initial investment to bring your payments down. So you'll see a lot of times people come in and they say, well, I saw an ad that said $349 a month, but in that fine print, it said $32.99 cap cost reduction or money down. A lot of times people come in and they say, well, I don't want to put any money down. That means you're still giving your taxes, your first month's payment, your bank fee, your plates up front. Doesn't mean you're not coming up with anything out of pocket. That just means you're not putting on a cap cost reduction. So to give you an idea, let's say on a 36-month lease, $1,000 cap cost reduction is equivalent to roughly $30 in your monthly payment. So if you're at let's say you're at $450 a month and you want to get down to $420, you put an extra $1,000 down to get you down to that monthly payment after you've negotiated your best deal. Now, some people are opposed to putting money down. It's all personal preference. Some people, let's say they know they want this particular car, and maybe their company gives them an allowance for their vehicle, or they just want to keep the payment below a certain budget because they want to, work the numbers in for their monthly payments, right? They may put that money down. Me personally, I don't put money down in the lease because I'm okay with my monthly payment, and I'd rather have the money in my pocket. That's the way.
Yeah, and sometimes the dealerships have things built in, right? Specials like that.
There are specials where they have incentives from the manufacturer if they're trying to move particular products. Some people come in and they say, well, wait a minute. Why is this car $55,000 and this car is $55,000? Let's say two different models, right? One may be an SUV, one's a sedan. The prices are different, right? And what happens is we may have a lot more sedans in inventory, and there's not a lot of these SUVs around. Everybody's buying SUVs. So the manufacturer says, hey, let's help the dealership move these vehicles by putting additional incentives on it. So their payment will be lower.
Is there a specific time of year that happens? Like I always see it's like a summer sale or winter, something like that.
Every manufacturer has different sales events. Like let's just say for Mercedes, normally.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward through this stuff, okay?
In June or July. My thing is this. We want to give people great deals. We want you to buy cars. Right?
Of course they do.
The car business has this, persona of being like, oh, they're going to rip me off. That's not the case anymore. listen, I'm sure there are people out there who take advantage of people, but that's not the case in most highline dealerships or most, mom and pop, organizations where they really look to take care of it.
And then you could buy a car at the end of the lease, right? If you want.
Now, you can buy your vehicle out at the end of the lease. That's one thing people ask me a lot. Look, I want to lease this car and I want to buy it.
That was a good point, right? Rent out lease with the option to buy.
No, yeah. So my thing is this: if you're going to buy the car now. All right. Now, here's the thing: we go back to that residual value.
Yeah.
You want that residual value to be high. You almost want it to be unrealistically high because that means your monthly payment on your lease is going to be low.
Let me tell you guys something. I have no idea what this dude is saying. I have no idea. I'm lost. I mean, you need to know that much stuff about a car. A car. You need to know that much information to buy one. We're talking about a single car. Imagine walking in, hearing this stuff on top of your 40-hour plus work week, kids, family, other due dates you got to keep track of. And then you sign up for this. Now you got to keep track of that. You're not going to keep track of any of that. You're not. You're going to get dinged so bad on fees and taxes. And you're so focused on that monthly payment. They know that. They know that.
Now, here's the thing. Now, at the end of the lease, all of a sudden you say, well, I'm going to buy it. You're buying it at that very high residual value. You have the option to buy it at that price. Okay, so now you're basically any savings that you took advantage of because that residual value was high, you're basically giving it right back to the bank.
That's another thing too, as far as with leasing a car, the monthly payments are usually lower.
Yeah, normally a lot.
That's another thing people have to understand too. It's like it's okay not to own everything. For me personally, I don't necessarily want to own a car because I'm gonna lose money on it.
Yep.
Right. So I don't want to own something that I'm gonna lose value in. So that's like owning a house that you know is gonna go down in value.
What?
Like, what's the point of owning?
All right.
I'd rather rent it.
Okay. I hate it when they do those kind of comparisons. That stuff doesn't make any sense. Cars go down in value, period. Cars go down in value, period.
Yeah. I have to have somewhere to live. But I don't want to own a house where I know if I'm gonna pay $100,000 and then 10 years it's gonna be worth $20,000.
Well, that's what I tell people. If let's say there's an area that you want to live in,
What?
for whatever reason, the views or whatever it is, the schools, whatever the case, you want to live there. But let's say the real estate agent said, "Hey, great news! This house is X amount. This apartment is X amount of dollars, and every year it's going to go down in value." You gotta say, "Well, wait a minute. Why would I buy that? For that, you're better off renting it, right? You say, listen, I want to live here for 3 years, but guess what? In 3 years from now, I want to go move to the suburbs. I like the views where I am, but I can't see myself raising a family here, right?
Can we stay on topic?
And renting is like
all right, let me fast forward.
That case, there's a high demand for that particular vehicle. Let's say this $30,000 actually the book value for that car, and he owes $25,000. He can turn around to the dealership and say, "Hey, I know my buyout is X amount of dollars. Would you be willing to buy that car from me in order for me to trade it back to you?" Now they have some money that they can put towards another vehicle also.
Yeah, T-Pain said that.
No, it was Matthew Knowles.
Oh, and that post, but
That's if the car, say like the car is worth $30,000 and you owe $25,000. It's up to the dealership if they're going to give you full retail price for that car. They're probably not. They're probably not going to give you full because they got to make some money off that car too. So they're probably not going to give you full retail value, even though the car is worth $30,000, you owe $25,000. That doesn't mean anything. All right.
T-Pain bought the Bugatti for $1.2 million.
He didn't. Yeah, he lost $400,000.
He lost $400,000. He blew the engine or something like that and sold it back to the dealership for $800,000. He lost $100,000 on the deal.
Well, he brought the car and then sold it 6 months later.
Yeah,
he lost $100,000.
I mean, it's rare that happens. Like I said, cars are depreciating assets, but it's very rare that'll happen.
All right, so now you got the 101, maybe 103. That's a lot. That was a lot. As far as exactly. So now we're gonna go into careers in the car industry. Want to highlight it and give people some information as far as that's concerned. Sure. In the next segment. All right, so now we're gonna go into careers in the car industry, and I think that it's important to give people different options. Especially, we spoke before about we did a college episode. We speak on college a lot, and to say college isn't for everybody. And we know that realistically, everybody's not going to go to college or even finish college, right? Yeah. But you can still be successful in this world. You can still there's a lot of different things you can do. A lot of trades, and the car industry is one industry in particular where you don't necessarily need a college degree to be successful, right? So can you tell your story? Because you have an interesting story. You grew up in Queens, went to school in Brooklyn, some tough parts.
Queens get the money.
Of the city, especially in that period of time, East New York. It's a pretty tough neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
And you said you got a GED, right?
Yep.
So, all right. So, can you talk about your journey from growing up and to getting into the car industry?
Well, my thing was, and I went to,
What's up, Cannon? Again, Cannon. Hey, man. You know what? I'm not knocking leisure, earn your leisure. I'm not knocking them. I'm only pointing out, and I'm not saying the rest of it. I'm only watching one video. Okay. So I'm not saying anything negative about these guys. All I'm saying is I'm just pointing out things that don't make mathematical sense. That's it. Nothing more than that. It's not anything on their character. Not saying they're doing anything illegal. It just makes sense. Okay.
to school at a public school, Frank K. Lane in Brooklyn, New York, one of the toughest schools in Brooklyn. First school with metal detectors, and
all right, I'm gonna fast forward.
I grew up. You don't have experience, you can't come work in Highline. You can't work at a high-end brand.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. My bad, best version. Okay.
Dealership.
Gotcha. Okay, that's it. All right. I was looking at that. Okay.
I'm actually still good friends with.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here, you guys. I'm gonna stop it here. All right. All right, let's stop it here. All right. Let's do this here. Let me get rid of that. Stop screen share. All right, you guys. I want you guys to pay close attention to the complexity that they made this be. It just you buying versus leasing. One is better than the other. He's mixing a little business. He's mixing a little bit with business versus personal. Never finance a car ever. Don't buying, leasing. Leasing just sucks you in because you see that small payment. I personally believe leasing is even worse than buying. It's just the stupidest nonsense ever. But if you're doing it for a business and it's under your business, if you're leasing a car under your business name, there's tax benefits to doing that. But if you're just leasing it, because the majority do this, the majority of people lease cars because of the small payment. They get to drive a nice car, a nice newer car for a small payment, and they think they're doing something. No, you're losing. You're losing big time. Don't ever finance a car under any circumstances unless it's for business. And when I say business, that car is not in your name. It's under your business name. Okay. It's under some kind of IRS guidelines to say, hey, IRS, this car is for business, period. If you're buying a car for yourself, you buy a car with cash. Okay. From a person for half the price from a person that's in credit trouble. Don't ever do that. If you're making car payments right now and you're paying for gap insurance, you're in trouble. If you went to a car lot and you stayed there all day, 8 hours for one car, you're in financial trouble because only people that finance cars would ever do that. I would never sit at a car lot for 8 hours to buy one car. I would never do that. Waste your whole day. People actually prepare themselves to go to a car lot and be there all day. And once you get there, they start talking MSRP, this finance rate, these taxes and percentage rates. People don't understand it. If you're financing car, they don't understand any of that. That thick stack of finance paperwork. You got to be crazy. No way, Jose. If you're in a car right now and you're making payments on it, if you're in a car right now, you don't even know the interest rate. Forget all the things they were saying, okay? If you're in a car right now and you don't even know your interest rate on your car, you are in trouble. If you have a finance car and you have a finance phone to match, you are in financial trouble. You got that new iPhone 11, that new Note 10 Plus 5G, and you're financing it, and it matches your finance car, you are in trouble. Don't ever finance a car. Don't ever lease a car, ever. Don't ever do any of that. There is no good way. There is no trick. There is no, this, who said, well, let me see. road trip. Oh yeah, let me write. Hythe says, imagine not being able to take your 2019 on a road trip because during the road trip you'll go beyond the tire rotation threshold, which will be a huge fee, and the mileage. And the mileage. Now you can't take a trip because, oh man, I'm worried I might go over my mileage. Isn't that the purpose of a car, to use it? Imagine making payments on something you are restricted to use. That is, man, I'm telling you, I would never do that. And I'm not talking bad about anybody that's doing it, because I did it for years. But now that I'm out of the debt matrix, Hyphy says that whole certified vehicle 150 point inspection crap is a scam. Many mechanics and salesmen have admitted to just signing off on the crap because it's standard procedure. Exactly. People just believe it. 150 point inspection. People don't even know. Ask somebody that says that to you. What is that? What does that mean? What are the 150 points? What are they doing? Half the people don't even know. They just go, ooh, that's a high number. That must be important. Okay. And then they just go for it. People don't even check it out. Only people who finance cars believe stuff like that. Okay. That doesn't mean anything to me. If I go buy a car, I go buy a car cash, I'm gonna just take it to the mechanic and say, hey, check this out. Go look at it. You do your 150, 200, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Look at it. This is just, man, this kind of stuff, man. These guys, I'm not, any video I review, I am not saying anything negative about the videos that I review. I'm not saying. The only thing I'm doing is pointing out the mathematical inconsistencies. And once you get out of debt, you will see them clear as day. That'll just knowing this alone, when I tell you guys, if you finance a car, you're financing the taxes too. That alone right there should make you never, ever finance a car, ever. You don't even want to pay taxes and you're financing them. Can you imagine? Imagine inside of a lease, all the fees, all the hidden this and that. I mean, that thick paperwork. How many people you think go home after signing a lease and say, you know what, I'm going to sit down at the table. Just a second, honey. I'll get to your homework in a minute. Just a second, honey. I'll get to the dinner. I'll get to the dishes, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to read over this thick lease paperwork that I just bought that brand new car out there. Okay, let me read it. Half the words inside the lease, you probably won't even understand. They just use verbiage that are not common words. You're not going to do it. They know that. It's just business. It's nothing personal. And I'm not going to lie. I don't know these guys. I don't know Earn Your Leisure, what they do or how they do it. But by the way they're speaking on this interview alone, I'd want to see all three of their personal credit reports. I'd want to see it. I'd want to see all three of them. Just to see, because I can't tell if they believe what they're saying. I can't tell. Their credit reports will show me if they believe what they're actually teaching. Okay. Or they're just doing it for money, or they're just telling you guys what is, you know what I'm saying? Because they could just be telling you, hey, if you get a lease, this is what happens. You can't go over your mileage. You can get a great percentage rate. Here's the 150. They're not doing anything bad. They're just saying, this is what is. Is it the best move for your pockets? Never ever finance anything that depreciates. Anything. You'll be rich. That move alone will make you rich. If you never ever finance anything, you'll be rich. Never finance a phone, car, washer and dryer, furniture, paying for gap insurance. That move alone will make you rich. Now, when you guys come to me, when people finally reach out to me, email me or whatever, right? Get over the hump of feeling like you're the only one that has done something bad with their money. And the reason why you're in the situation you're in right now, because of your bad financial decisions. I'm going to help you get out of that mindset, because that's what's keeping you trapped. Okay. Because I understand your debt gets your feelings all wrapped up inside of it. Right. This is how to tell that you're not the only one. Trillions in car loan debt. You're not the only one. Trillions in credit card debt. You're not the only one. You're not. You're not the only one. Come to me so we can get over that hump. Get out of that. Get out of that. Sorry, you guys, I got to do something here. Once you get out of the debt matrix, you can see everything I'm showing you guys, telling you guys. Hyphy says, the door handles work for 4 points. The tires have air for the gas cap clicks. That's 1 point. The license plate has 2 screws, 2 points. You're right. You know what, Hyphy? You're right. And I'm sure that's probably the point, one of the points inspections. You're right. You're right. The window rolls up and down. That's 20. What you think that is? 20 points? Okay, that's 20 points. Yeah. Where are we up to 150 yet? No, we got to add some more things. Okay. We put Windex on the windows. That's 10 points, right? Yeah, that's 10 points. The windows are clean. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hyphy says the radio volume works properly at every volume from 0 to 50. That's that's 50 points. That is, we're laughing about that, but it's true. I bet it's true. I bet it's true. I don't know what that is. I might look it up after we get out. What is it? What is a 150-point inspection? I never bothered to look that up. I don't even know what that is. I mean, I don't really care. Again, I buy my cars for half the price from people in credit trouble, so I really don't care. I have the money to go buy it from them, half price, take it to a quality mechanic, and say, "Hey, man, look this car over." That's it. Oh man, and that was funny, Hyphy. I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. That was real funny. Hey, you guys, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Hit that like button, please. All right. Go check out my website. This guy right here, he built my website for me. Check if you guys want a good quality website built, go to here. He's my friend. He's financially free. He's debt free. He does this as a passion. That's how you know you're going to get some good quality work. Okay. He's not doing it. Of course, he does it for a business, but I'm not saying he's not doing it to just get all your money from you. He does quality work. Okay. There's my website. Go there, click on book free consultation, and then you can get started with me. I'm telling you guys, if you guys have any questions, let me put this up there because I know sometimes some people like to join in the session. So I'm gonna put this up there. So just in case, if you want to jump in on this session and ask some questions of me, you guys can. You don't have to be on camera. You can just use your voice and then we can just talk about it. But how are you guys liking these videos that I critique? Are you guys enjoying them? Can you guys see that I'm not I'm not talking negative about the person I'm critiquing? Is that clear? Because I want to make sure that it's clear that I'm not talking negative about the person that makes the video. I'm pointing out mathematical inconsistencies only. Okay, that's it. Things that don't make mathematical sense. Things that, remember, you got to remember, math and money are one. Okay, if math didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to count money. It's that simple. Hyphy says, Linnell Young refused to finance razors, so he hasn't shaved his head this week. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You know what's so funny, Hyphy? My girlfriend wants me to grow it out. She wants me to grow it out because a lot of people, I shave my head, right? Because people think I'm bald. That's the reason why I shave my head. No, I don't shave my head because it's just gray. It's just gray. I'm not bald. It's just gray, right? She wants me to grow it out, trim it up. She wants to give me that new older man look or whatever. I'm thinking about it, man, but I just can't sit in the barbershop for 3-4 hours to get my hair cut. I just can't do it. So I'm going to shave my head. That's cool, man. That's cool. That's funny though. I know people come on this video like, God damn, LJ's gray. Yeah, I've been gray since like 18. Okay. That's in my family. You see my grandfather, he is totally white, but check it out. I'm not bald. That's it. That's what I love. Okay. Thank you, Life for a Business. Great vid. Appreciate it, Life for a Business. Thank you, Gabriel. Always good work, LJ. Appreciate it. Best Version says, LJ, I have a good one coming. It's about buying a house with student loan debt. Oh yeah, you got to send me that link. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this a big boy? Is he a big boy? Who is this? Buying a house with student loan debt. Right there. Check it out. Check this out, you guys. Right there is telling you he's doing something illegal. You can't do that. When you sign that paperwork, that FAFSA paperwork, it's in there. It says you only can use this money for school. You can't do that kind of stuff. But what's not written down is this. They don't care if you do it because you're going to owe it for life. You're going to owe that money for life. So you can take basket weaving in college. They don't care because you're going to pay back every single dime. You're going to be paying that with your Social Security checks. You're going to be paying that with your Social Security checks. Good luck. Good luck, people. Oh my God. Now, I put the link in there if you guys want to jump in on the conversation. Oh, excuse me. If you want to jump in on the conversation, you can. These are love, man. Hey, Best Version, man. You be finding some good ones, man. I got you. You better send me that link. Oh my, what? Wait, whoa. Okay. Hyphy says, Best Version motivation. I'm licking my chops to see that one. Me too, man. I'm licking my chops and I'm gonna do it. FVJ75. What's up, Fred? I am just getting in. Good morning, SMD family. I am enjoying your videos and your use of math to teach us. Thanks, Fred. I appreciate that, man. Best Version says that the MG, the mortgage guy you did the video on already, he dropped it last night. Oh man, this dude. This guy. Oh, this guy right here, man. This guy. How long? Hey, Best Version, how long is that video? How long is it? How long is it? Best Version, did I give you MG the mortgage guy? All right, hold up. All right, let me do something here. Let me go find MG the mortgage guy, okay? MG. Oh God, he dropped it last night. I got to see. 1 second, you guys. Just a second. I'm looking. MG, he's a killer, man. This guy be killing me. Videos. Can I buy a house? Can I buy a house with student loan debt? Can I? Okay. All right. All right. Let me look. This guy be killing me, man. This guy.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt Garland here. NMLS number 587.
1 second. 1 second. Okay, we're gonna do this. I like this guy, man. This guy be killing me, man. He be killing me. All right, 1 second. 1 second. 22 minutes. Okay, just a second. I think we might have time to do this one. Okay. Let me switch my mic here. 1 second. All right, 1 second here. 1 second. Okay, share. All right, this is titled. Let me get this title in there for you guys so you guys can see it. All right, come on, catch up, man. All right. How come that's not coming up? Okay, I don't know why his title's not coming up. Okay. Oh, can I buy a house with student loan? What did it say? Can I buy a house with student loan debt? All right, come on. Hold up, 1 second. Let me go back. Can I buy a house with student loan debt? Okay. I got to hear what he's going to say.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
All right, here we go.
Matt Garland here. NMLS number 58700. But I'm better known as MG, the mortgage guy. Thank you guys for tuning into today's live video about student loans. But first, before I get into the video, all right, I want to give a big shout out to DJ MB.
I'm gonna fast forward some stuff here.
Earn Your Leisure or Earn Your Leisure events. I'm going to put links in it. So I'm going to put links. So let's get into today's episode. We're going to talk about student loans today. So this is one of the most frequently asked questions is folks who have student loans and they want to know.
Now, remember, you guys, I'm not saying anything negative about him. If he says good, if he gives good information, I'm going to tell you that he's giving good information. And when I say good information, I'm saying mathematically correct information. Okay, that's it.
So how do you go qualifying for a home when you have a tremendous amount of student loan debt? Now, these guidelines have changed over the last couple.
Okay, first, before we start, okay, this is what I want you guys to picture in your head, okay? This is what I want you to first, before we start this video, this is what I want you to put in your brain. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house, okay? Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. Now, since the majority of people are in debt, that's going to be a very large negative number. Now, I want you to keep that large negative number in your brain. Okay, keep it in your brain. Here we go.
Couple years, I don't remember the exact year that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA changed the guidelines. It had to probably be like 3 or 4 years ago, probably like 2015, 2016. But don't quote me on that because I don't know the exact date. But before, if the student loans were deferred, and they were going to be deferred at least 12 months after we closed on the loan, then the student loan debt wouldn't be calculated into your debt to income ratio. But as we all know, that has changed, and it makes it a little bit.
Oh, hell, I got to go back and see what he said. That was quick.
Months after we closed. But before, if the student loans were deferred, and they were going to be deferred at least 12 months after we closed on the loan, then the student loan debt wouldn't be calculated into your debt to income ratio. But as we all know, that has changed, and it makes it a little bit harder for folks who do have student loan debt to get qualified for loans. So the purpose of today's video and today's live.
If you have student loans, never, ever, ever, ever buy a house. Don't ever buy a house. If you have student loans that are older than your children, don't ever buy a house with student loans debt. Don't ever. It's going to turn your dream home into a nightmare. Don't ever do that.
It's basically for me to tell you and explain the guidelines to you guys for conventional loans, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and also for FHA. All right, so that's the whole purpose of this video today. So let's get to the first one, FHA loans, right? A lot of my borrowers and people that I speak to use FHA a lot because it allows you to do.
All right, I want you to understand what he just said, okay? A lot of his borrowers do FHA loans. FHA loans are only for people that refuse to accept that they cannot afford a home, because when you manage money well, you would never touch an FHA loan with a 10-foot pole. You would never sign on the dotted line to give away your money like that. You would never do that. You have no idea the fees that are hidden in that thing. PMI, MIPs, upfront private mortgage insurance, and then one through the life of the entire loan. Don't you ever do that, ever. He's telling you the majority of his clients are people that refuse, that they cannot afford a home. So they're just jumping into something, believing they're a homeowner with the FHA mortgage.
3.5% down payment with no income restriction.
Now, remember what I said. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. You have no money, so you really have you don't even have the 3.5% to put down. You can't take 3.5% from a negative number. That's mathematically impossible. And if you have student loan debt, you have no money.
You can buy 1 to 4 family properties with FHA loans as long as they're owner occupied. 2 families to 4 families, then FHA will allow you to use their program to do that. But also FHA has the toughest guidelines when it comes to student loans. So let me break this down for you.
Yeah, break that down.
Student loans with FHA, if they are deferred, right, they have to, we the lender, the underwriters, we have to use a 1% calculation of the balance, and we have to include that into your debt to income ratio. So easy numbers. If you have $100,000,
if your student loans are deferred, you're telling them that you're in financial trouble. That's why they're deferred, because you can't pay them. Check it out. Listen. If they're deferred because you can't afford to pay them, but yet you're going to go try to buy a house. Now, if they're deferred, this 1% of whatever he's talking about, they're going to tax you for doing that. They're going to tax you for not knowing. That's a I don't know tax. Okay, that's exactly what that is. You're paying I don't know tax. A deferment in student loan payments means you cannot afford the payments. And now you're going to buy a house with an FHA mortgage, and your student loans are deferred. You have no money to buy a house at all. That's why 3.5% down on the house sounds inviting, because you have no money to do it.
student loan debt.
Good morning, Cosmic
and
Wisdom.
It's deferred, then we have to use 1% as that payment, which will be $1,000 a month. That will be included into your debt to income ratio. Now, if you are in a IBR,
when you have no debt, listen, you guys, when you have no debt, there is no debt to income ratio, because you have no debt. Debt to income ratio. When you have no debt, all you have is income, so there is no ratio. The debt to income ratio is created by the banks. Why do you need some other entity to tell you about your money? Right there alone should tell you something's wrong. You need an outside entity outside of yourself to say, hey, look at my money. Let me know if I have enough money to buy this. Right? That statement alone should tell you a million things is wrong right there. Okay? When you're out of debt, debt to income ratio doesn't exist personally. Okay? Because you have no debt.
R, which stands for income-based repayment plan.
Oh, wait, well, gotta go back. Go back. Just a second.
Be included into your debt to income ratio. Now, if you are in a IBR, which stands for income-based repayment plan, if that income-based repayment plan is not a fully amortized payment, right? Meaning there's a term, there's an end to it, then we, the lender, still have to use 1% as you calculate.
Income-based repayment plan. That's a term for slave camps. Okay, those are repayment plans of your student loans that you make a certain amount to pay the certain amount back over a period of 10 to 25 years of paying this student loan payment back, and you can't even afford to pay the student loan back, yet you're going to get in a house. Now listen, I want you guys to listen closely. If you say, for example, you have $50,000 in student loan debt that you have kept that is older than your children. Okay, your student loan's older than your children, and it's $50,000. You mean to tell me you're going to get in an FHA mortgage, $300,000, and you believe you're going to pay back a house at $300,000? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. And the bank knows that. They will own the house the entire time you're living in it. While you're calling yourself a homeowner, you're not a homeowner. You're renting from the bank.
Because FHA will only allow us to use the payment if it's fully amortized. All right. So what my advice would
listen to all the big words. Do you guys know what amortized mean? Do you know what that means? If you're getting an FHA mortgage, you don't know what that means. You could care less what amortized means. I'm not even saying it right. If you're getting an FHA mortgage, don't even worry about what that word means. That's the last of your worries. I promise you.
What I try to tell people is this: if you have to go FHA.
Now, mind you, here again, I got to keep jumping in here. I'm not saying anything negative about this guy. What he is doing is legal. What he's doing is business. How I feel about what he does as a business is 100% irrelevant. Okay. I don't care that people that need FHA mortgages come to him. Whatever, it's business, whatever. Okay. But what I'm saying is that don't ever do it. From financial wise, that's all you got to do. If you're still on the fence of understanding the difference between a conventional mortgage In an FHA mortgage, you walk into a bank, you talk to a realtor, whoever you want to talk to, and say, hey, man, can you do a side-by-side comparison on this house that I want with a conventional versus a FHA mortgage? Can you please do a side-by-side comparison so you can see the numbers yourself? That's very important.
If you have to go FHA, see,
you don't have to go FHA. You don't. You don't have to do anything. Okay, that's number one. You don't have to.
What your payment would be if you had a fully amortized payment. And if you have a fully amortized payment with FHA and it's lower than the 1%, as long as it's fully amortized, then you can go ahead and you can use.
Hey, Cosmic Wisdom, can you tell me what that means in the way he's saying it? Can you tell me what he's talking about?
Use that payment. All right. Now, in most cases, from what I've seen, just with my own personal experience, if someone's is getting a fully amortized payment, depending on the balance of that student loan, they still may have a higher payment. All right. So now let's go into Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac guidelines, which Freddie Mac is also a conventional mortgage. All right. So Freddie Mac tells us this: if the student loan is in a repayment, forbearance, or deferment, right? This is the eligibility in the document requirements. All right. If the monthly payment amount is greater than 0, use the monthly payment amount reported on a credit report or other filed documentation. Or if the monthly payment amount reported on a credit report is 0, then use 0.5% of the outstanding balance as reported on the credit report. So let me break this down to you guys for you guys in layman's terms. So the first part, if it's in repayment, forbearance, or deferment, the first part of the guideline says if the payment amount is greater than 0 on a credit report or on any income-based repayment plan that you give to a lender, the documentation that you give to a lender, if it's greater than 0, then we can use that payment with Freddie Mac. So let's just say your payment plan is $2 a month, right? And we have the proof from the IBR, which is the income payment repayment documentation, that shows that it's $2, then Freddie Mac will allow us to use that $2 to help you qualify. That will be included into your monthly debt to income ratio. Now, if you have an IBR, an income-based repayment plan, that's $0 and it's reporting as $0 on your credit report, then instead of using the full 1% like a FHA loan, we use 0.5% to calculate what your monthly payment will be. So easy numbers again, if you have $100,000 in student loan debt, you are in the IBR and the payment says 0 on your credit report, then we as a lender will have to use 0.5% times 100K, which is your balance. That will make your payment $500 a month that the lender will have to use to underwrite your loan. My advice to you folks, if you're going conventional using a Freddie Mac loan program, get into an IBR payment which shows that you have a payment greater than $0, and then we can use that payment. All right.
All right.
Now, there's a lot of loan forgivenesses, cancellation, and programs that employers may have. And Freddie Mac has some new language that's effective.
New language on top of this language? Okay, I'm ready to hear it. Let's hear it.
January 2nd of 2020.
Okay.
Right. So they have new guidelines. If you have a loan forgiveness program or loan cancellation program, employment.
I'm gonna just tell you guys straight up, okay? They are doing people so dirty. That's in debt. They're doing people so dirty. They're doing them so dirty. They're doing them so dirty. They're doing you guys so dirty. Oh my God, they're doing you so dirty. Let me throw this up here. Cosmic Wisdom says, because I trust her, amortization is the schedule of interest plus principal. Mortgages usually front load interest, so that sounds like it sounds like a disaster. Getting a house with deferred loans, that's stacking up plus PMI. Exactly. Yes, it is. PMI usually sounds sounds an extra $100 a month. Not good financially. It's going to be hard to pay out of that hole. Exactly, it is. It's going to be difficult. If you're going in, you guys listen to what he's saying. He's dealing with people that are deep in student loan debt and they're deferring their payments. If they're deferring the payments, which means holding them back, that the interest of those loans, of those student loans, is still accruing. The interest doesn't stop. So they really want you to defer them. And if you're deferring them, you're in financial trouble. That's the very reason. And you're going to get into a mortgage debt. You can't even pay your student loan debt, and you're about to finance a house. That's bad news bears.
Contingency repayment program.
Don't ever do that.
One of those things. Here's the new guidelines. It says the monthly payment amount may be excluded from the monthly DTI ratio, provided that the mortgage file contains documentation that includes the.
It sounds like he's speaking Chinese, don't it? Now I don't know if he's using the right words or not. I don't know. Don't really care, really. It doesn't matter to me. When you get out of debt, it won't matter to you either, because you'll never do nothing like that ever. That's digging yourself so deep in the hole. You have no idea how deep you will be in the hole. If you can't even make your student loan payments, you believe you're going to make a house payment for 30 years? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're only fooling yourself.
The following. The student loan has 10 or less payments remaining until the full balance of the student loan is forgiven, canceled, discharged, or paid. Or the monthly payment on a student loan is deferred or is in forbearance, and the full balance of the student loan will be forgiven, canceled, discharged, or paid at the end of the deferment or forbearance period. All right? And the borrower currently meets the requirements for the student loan forgiveness, cancellation, discharge, and employment contingency repayment program. And the seller is not aware of the circumstances that will make the borrower ineligible for the future. All right. So the borrower is eligible or approved for the student loan forgiveness program. And this is effective of January 2nd of 2020. So that was a lot I read, right?
Yes,
so
it was.
Break this down in super layman terms for you.
Please.
Basically, starting January 2nd of 2020.
Yeah.
If you are in any kind of student loan forgiveness, cancellation, or discharge program, and employment contingency.
Yeah.
And you can provide the documentation that proves this, and your student loan has at least 10 payments or left remaining until the full balance of the student loan is forgiven or canceled, you qualify for this portion of the program. So it could be excluded from your debt to income ratio. Or if the monthly payment on the student loan is deferred or in forbearance, and the full balance of the student loan will
I'm gonna fast forward this because he's just reading off the website.
For all the folks out. If a monthly student loan payment is provided on the credit report, the lender may use that amount for qualifying purposes. If the credit report does not reflect the current monthly payment,
I'm fast forward.
Is zero. With the documentation that you are in IBR and you have a zero payment, Fannie Mae will allow.
Do you think anybody getting an FHA mortgage, they already don't know about money because they're getting one. They're trying to qualify one. They're trying to qualify for one while their student loan payments are in deferment. It's like people don't even think, like, say like your student loan payments are in deferment and then you go sign up to get a house. What happens when the student loan payments come out of deferment? Now you got the student loan payments are due on top of a mortgage payment. You will be buried so deep. You can't put your student loan payments in for deferment forever. They have to come out.
Allow us to use zero as the payment to qualify. If you are in a forbearance or your loans are deferred, then Fannie Mae says we have to use 1% as the payment. All right. So that was just. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys.
I gotta be real with you guys. I gotta be real with you. I would love to see his personal credit report. I would have to see it. Before I did business with MG, the mortgage guy, I would ask to see his personal credit report first. That will tell me everything I need to know. It will tell me if he's doing this for business or he actually believes in what he's saying. Again, What he's doing, what he's saying is not illegal. It's correct. It's the right guidelines. You guys clearly see he's reading off some website somewhere that he's just following the rules of some other Fannie Mae, whoever. It doesn't matter. You can go read it yourself, right? It doesn't matter. But financially wise, mathematically wise, you better not do that. It makes no mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. It doesn't. Don't ever do that.
Student loans, and if I was looking to purchase a home.
Oh, let me see what you said. Let's go back.
That was just, and I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. If I had student loans and if I was looking to purchase a home, and I'm in the IBR, I would, number one, see what Freddie Mac programs that I qualify for, so that way I can use them, right? Because
if you were looking to purchase a home and you were in an income-based repayment program, I would tell you not to ever buy one. Never, ever do that. I would tell you right away, do not do that. That's why your payments are already in an income-based repayment program, because you cannot afford the student loan payments right now. Why would you burden yourself with a $300,000-$400,000 house? That doesn't even make any sense. No sense at all. Our Carp says you only get 36 months of forbearance at a time through the life of the student loans. Oh my God. Fred says, Fred, FVJ, so as you guys know, Fred says the noise from the debt matrix is mind-boggling. It is. It is, Fred. It's totally mind-boggling, because if you're in debt, you don't know what to listen for. You just listen. The majority of people around them, they're just listening to other people in the debt matrix. Hey, the rent's the same as the mortgage, and you need to get a house. You're nobody. You're just throwing away money. And then they just jump into stuff like this, and they hear a guy like MG, the mortgage guy, saying, hey, you can get this type of mortgage with barely anything down. Yes, you can do it with student loans and all this other stuff. He's just giving you the shovel to bury yourselves even deeper, and you're paying for it.
Going to have better options, especially because if you have to use a 1% calculation, that may be too much. So at worst case scenario, if you don't want to get into IBR, if you want to keep them deferred on the forbearance plan or whatever you have, then you can use a 0.5 point. And that's a lot cheaper than using a 1% with FHA or Fannie Mae. But I would recommend get into an IBR. If you get into an IBR,
if you're listening to this video and you're in debt, it's okay to say you don't understand what percentage rates mean. It's okay. 1 point, buy your interest rate down. I mean, those should be indicators. Like sometimes some home loans say, hey, if you put this money down, this much money down, you can buy down your interest rate. You're paying to get a lower. It just doesn't even make any sense. It makes no mathematical sense. But if you believe it, you believe it. Cosmic Wisdom says people just want to get what they want without caring about the consequences until it's too late, and they are deep in the hole, unfortunately. Yes, and you know what, Cosmic Wisdom, it's business. It is what it is. The majority of people must remain in debt for us to remain free. That's how it works, Cosmic Wisdom. And as soon as you get out of debt, you will clearly see the purpose of it. You'll clearly see the purpose of it all. You will clearly see the purpose of it all.
Just make sure you can qualify for a conventional mortgage, because if your IBR is shows $0, then Fannie Mae will allow you to use it per the guidelines. And if you show $1 or more with Freddie Mac, that's the number you can use for your debt to income ratio. All right. So I hope this information was helpful for you guys. I'm going to answer a couple questions here that I see in the live chat.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear that. What are you answering?
Okay. So Willie Miles wants me to check my DM on Instagram. Willie Miles, click the link in my bio, and I'm also going to put a link in my description here too. Book a consultation. Guys, my email and my DM are the matrix. The fastest way to get to me is click the link in my bio on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, MG the Mortgage Guy, or just the link in the description. You can book an appointment. You can apply directly for financing. You don't have to wait for me to respond to an email or a DM. Although I try my best to get to both of those as quickly as possible, but understand it's the matrix over there. There's a lot of people asking questions. All right. All right. So Larissa Muse says, what if you're going into FHA with a partner that doesn't have any student loans? You got to be a little bit more specific. If they don't have student loans and you have student loans, then you can't, like, you don't just ignore the fact that you have student loans. You have to follow the FHA guidelines. If your student loans are...
If this person that asked the questions is thinking about going to an FHA mortgage, well, if the person's going to go into an FHA mortgage with a partner that has student loan debt, that person has no, I mean, they're doing like a double whammy. They're trying to get in a FHA mortgage with a person that has student loans. That's like, and you don't, and you're about to, oh my goodness gracious.
Deferred, or if you're not in a fully amortized payment, then we got to use the 1% calculation. All right. So Victoria Pruitt, what about for USDA rural loans? Good question. I don't do too many USDA
oh, thank God.
loans. I don't really know the guidelines for student loans.
Don't ever do it. Don't ever do that loan. Anything below the top rate conventional mortgage on the market is a no-go.
With the USDA, but I'll put a link in the description. So that way you can, and I'll put the guidelines in the description, but I honestly don't know. I would assume that it follows suit with FHA because that's also a government-backed program. So I'm going to assume that it follows the FHA guidelines, but I honestly don't know because I don't do too many of those loans. But I'll put the guidelines in the description for you. All right. What do you mean by the 1% calculation? So the 1% calculation basically means, all right, so let's just say, for example, what's your name? Scoops of Plenty. Scoops of Plenty. If you have $100K worth of student loans, and those student loans are deferred, and you want to go with an FHA mortgage, then FHA uses 1% as the calculation of the balance. So we do 100,000 times 1%, and that would give us your student loan payment, which will be $1,000 a month. So that's how you kind of calculate it.
Did you guys hear it? Did you guys hear any of that? Did you hear any of that? None of it makes mathematical sense. None of it. None of it. It makes mathematical sense in that world, but math is in everybody's world. It makes sense in that world. You get out of that world and you come into the mathematical world. None of that will make sense. None of it. None of it. And if you're a fan of MG, the mortgage guy, that's cool. I'm not saying anything negative. If he can get you an FHA mortgage, go with him. Okay. I'm a subscriber to him. Okay. That's where I get my titles from. That's where I get my titles. His titles, check it out. His video titles attract people who are in debt, people that believe that they can get something for nothing. People that believe they can get something with having no money. That's not true. That is not true. Math will clearly show anybody that believing in an FHA mortgage, math will clearly show you that that is not true. Okay?
Do you do conventional loans? Of course I do. I'm the mortgage guy. Nope.
The question should have been, how many conventional mortgages do you do? That's the real question. How many do you actually do of conventional mortgages? I would like to know that.
No problem, Victoria. All right. So should I do S Corp or LLC for flips? All right. Look, this video is about student loans. So if you don't have questions about student loans, don't ask me no questions, please. I'm trying to answer questions about student loans. Now, if you want to learn about LLCs, should you use an LLC or should you use a S Corp? I have a video in my playlist. I think it's called playlist is free game. Go in there. I have a video with my CPA. We discuss LLC versus S Corp for real estate investors. It's about a 10-minute video. You'll hear directly from a CPA. What's the tax? It's the same thing. If those student loans are deferred, your child's student loan. All right, directly from a CPA. What's the tax pros and cons for both situations? All right. All right. So, all right. So, what if you are a parent seeking an FHA loan, but you're a co-signer on your child's student loan? How would that affect the FHA loan? Same thing, Powers. It's the same thing.
If you are trying to get an FHA mortgage and you have the parent, the parent probably has student loans themselves. That's the reason why they had to take Parent Plus loans out for the kid, because they don't have any money. And now they're trying to get an FHA mortgage. They're burying themselves so deep. I mean, let me see how he's going to give this person a shovel.
If those student loans are deferred, you see, when you co-sign for your children's student loans, they're still your loans. Mm-hmm. Right? You are legally obligated to those loans in case your child doesn't pay them back. Mm-hmm. They could come after you. Mm-hmm. So the same rules apply. It's student loans, they're in your name. If they're deferred, then we use 1% calculation and we include that into your debt to income ratio. So they don't give us any breaks because we are co-signed for our children or family member. So we still have to use the same guidelines, unfortunately. All right. So that's all I got for you guys today. I really wanted to come on here and kind of go through this student loan breakdown of the guidelines. So that way, going into 2020, you guys are fully aware of what's happening with student loans, how a lender is.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Stop sharing. All right. All right. I'm not going to always pick on MG, the mortgage guy, man, because he's just doing his business. You know, he's making his money. But his customer base is people that are in trouble with student loans. Their student loans are in deferment. That means they can't afford their student loans. That's why they're in deferment. That still want a piece of the American dream, even though they can't afford it. It doesn't make any sense. That's who MG, the mortgage guy, is for. He's for those type of people. You know, and hey, business is business, whatever. You know, he's making his money. If you guys want to be free, come see me. Okay? I will show you guys how to get financially free. I will prove it to you. I'll show it to you, all with the math I learned in grade school. I'll show it to you. The hardest part is for you to believe it is you just have to believe your own mathematics. That's all. You just have to believe math. That's it. That's going to be the hard part. You're going to have to accept, yes, you got to pay back your student loans. Yes. I mean, if you got student loans right now, knowing what I'm telling you, hey, if you don't pay off your student loans, you'll die with them. If that alone doesn't scare you, something's wrong. You're accepting that you're going to have a debt until you're dead. Have you really accepted that you're going to have a debt until you're dead? Don't ever do that. Don't ever get an FHA mortgage. Don't ever do that. Don't ever, ever, ever do that. Don't listen to the other people in the debt matrix talking about you throwing away money on rent. Don't ever, ever do that. You have a place to live. That's what you're paying rent for. You have a roof over your head. Nothing's free. So listening to stuff like that, you guys, it just bugs the crap out of me. You youngsters, millennials, I made a video last night and I'm just reiterating, okay? I'm just saying this to you. If you want to be rich, you do the exact opposite of people like that. You never don't finance anything. Don't care what your friends think. Don't care what your friends buy. Who cares if they get a new car every 3 years? I know it looks like they have money, but they don't. They don't. They don't. I promise you they don't. And how can you tell? You just look at their personal credit report. It'll tell you everything you need to know. I promise you. It will answer all your questions. Does this person really know about money? Let me see your personal credit report and I'll believe you. Because you got to understand this. People in the debt matrix, they have no idea they only speak debt. They have no idea because they've been in debt all their lives. So they believe debt is just a part of life. It's not. That's not true. Debt is not part of life. It's not. If you want it to be part of your life, you can. And if you got student loans that are in deferment and you're thinking about buying a house with an FHA mortgage on top of that, oh my God, you're going to be in debt until you're dead. You guys don't understand. I got videos to critique until the end of time on YouTube. Till the end of time. That's why I can do 2 videos in one video, because I got plenty of content. Plenty. It doesn't matter whose channel it is. It doesn't matter. Anybody comparing buying versus leasing cars, they live in a debt matrix. Okay? You never, ever finance anything that depreciates. You do not win. Ever. You never will win if you finance something that goes down in value. I don't care how you look at it, how much you have to put down, your percentage rate, your credit, none of that. You'll never win, ever. Okay? Best Version Motivation says, I said in my video this morning, 2020, I got to go check out your video, Best Version. I'm going to check that out as soon as this is over. 2020 is my year. This is my year too. I'm never going back to the matrix. And when I say the matrix, I mean, I'm not even talking about the debt matrix. That's not even a blip in my brain. I'm talking about just the 40-hour work week, 2 weeks a year vacation. Once you get out of the matrix and you see how life really is, you're never going back. You'll do whatever it takes to stay out of that nonsense. Well, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this up. If you guys don't have any questions, if you guys, I'm gonna throw this link up here one more time. If you want to come in here and ask me a question, do it now. So we're gonna go ahead and get off here. Throw that through one more time. Again, please don't forget to like, comment, share. Oh, I can put that. Oh, that's cool. I can put that. I can put a picture up there in the corner. That's cool. Okay. All right. Don't forget to hit that like button. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Please do not forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Go here. You want to book a free 30-minute consultation, go to my website, click on book consultation. Okay. Please do not forget to put in your time zone. It should be right at the top too. You can pick the time you want that works best for you and pick your time zone at the top. So that way, because I'm in East Coast time zone. So if you're in Central or Pacific, it'll cross it over the right way. So I can call you on time. You can call me on time, whatever. Right. All right, you guys, let's go back here. Again, if you want to jump on and ask any questions, you want to throw a question up in the chat, you can. Let me know. If you want to jump into this session, you can. All right. Click on the link. You don't have to turn on your video. You can turn on voice only. Let me know. Let's see. Let me see. Sometimes the chat be really late sometimes when I do a live session versus, let's see here. 1 second here. Dashboard live. Oh, no, go back. No, don't want that. Don't go back. Go back. Go back. All right. What's the name? Got these new features on YouTube, man. They be live section. Let's see. Can I click on that and go? Nope. Can do that, huh? Trying to see the live chat, because the live chat will show the real time. Trying to show the real time. Okay. All right. Let me see here. 1 second, you guys. All right, I'm waiting for the last couple of questions to come in here, and then we're going to go ahead and get off of here because I got some Christmas shopping to do. Let me start my car up right now. 1 second here. Okay, I'm gonna read from the original YouTube chat because it's not coming through. Okay, James Stokes says, if my student loan payment is too high for me, can I call them and ask for a lower amount instead of deferring them? That I don't know. I don't know if you can do that. I really don't know if it can do that. If it's too high, you need a plan, James. You need a plan. You need to accept that whatever you got going on in your life, like if you got other payments, if you vacations, if like even Christmas times right now, you gotta say to yourself, I'm not buying anybody any gifts because I have no money and I need to get rid of the student loan payments. And if people ask, hey, are you buying anything for anybody? You say, nope. Why not? Because I have no money. Why? Because I got to pay my student loans off. So I'm not buying anybody any gifts. That's what you got to say. You can be proud to say I have no money, because the majority of people that are in debt, they have too much pride to say I have no money. So they don't want to look like they have no money. They don't want to share with anybody. It doesn't matter. You can clearly see it. Just think about it. I want you guys to understand this. People are going into debt right now, this very moment as we speak, to make other people happy for Christmas, to buy everybody else gifts. They're going into debt for it. Once you get out of the debt matrix, you don't care about how people feel about your money. You'll never care about that ever again. You would clearly say, if you don't have any money for Christmas presents, you will say, I don't have any money for Christmas presents, so nobody's getting anything. Nobody's getting any gifts from me, so don't buy any gifts from me either, because I'm not going to give anybody any gifts. So don't buy anything from me, period. But if you be careful of social media, because when you get on Facebook and Instagram, you'll see everybody with Christmas trees and presents and, doing vacations and stuff, and it will bother you thinking that these other people must know how to manage money. Well, look at all the stuff they're doing. Do not be fooled by that kind of stuff. The majority of people are charging that, and they're going into debt for it. Don't ever fall for that. Okay. I suggest this: if you are in debt, do not get on social media during the holidays or any holiday. As a matter of fact, don't get on social media during the holidays ever. Wait till the day after. Stop getting on social media at least a few days before the actual holiday pops up, because it's just especially on the holiday itself. Don't get on there, because you're going to believe everything you're seeing on the screen and the pictures and the Christmas tree and the lights and all this other stuff. Don't do it. The majority of people are in debt up to their eyeballs. How do I know? Trillions in mortgage debt, trillions in credit card debt, trillions in car loan debt, trillions. That's a lot of people faking. A lot of people. All right. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and cut this off. Okay. I thought if there's not any more questions, again, you can go to my website, sign up for a free consultation. I want to make sure I let everybody know, thank you for the donations. I much appreciate it. Much appreciated. This is my Cash App. Thank you for the notes that are left during when these donations are sent. Thank you for the notes that are left, how I changed your life and somehow, or how my videos have impacted you, or how you were about to make some sort of financial decision and my video prevented you from doing so. Thank you. Much appreciated. There's my Cash App. Here is my PayPal. Much appreciated. Those are the links for the donations. Okay. Again, t-shirts are coming out soon. They should be here in about a week or so. And then I'm going to put them on my website, and then I'll send you guys the link to how you can purchase them. Okay. and the prices and things of that nature. Okay. You guys have a wonderful Saturday. Have a wonderful best version motivation. I'm gonna go out and check out your channel to see that video. All Mall says the majority of people in urban areas have the "you can't take it with you" when you die, and they spin. Ain't that the truth? That is All Mall. That is the truth, man. You can't take it with you. You might as well live life now. These are all debt matrix statements. Okay. What are the ones I used to hear when I was in the debt matrix? I used to go, you can't take it with you. You might as well have fun now. You don't live forever. You might as well do it while you're young. All these things. When you're in debt, you're just a slave on vacation. You're a slave driving a new car. You're a slave at work. You're a slave mowing the grass of your house. You're a slave redoing the floors, and you're putting a new kitchen in there. You're a slave. You're still a slave. So it justifies the spending. You're going to be a slave until you're dead. Student loans are the worst loans to have. They're only second. Let me take that back. They're only second to IRS debt. They're only second to IRS debt. You do whatever it takes to get out of student loan debt. You do whatever it takes. All right, you guys, if that's it, you guys have a wonderful Saturday. All right, see you later.